All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever wondered how a company can go from just saying they care about digital accessibility to actually, living it? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to break down this really powerful new model from the W3C that's basically a roadmap for baking inclusion right into a company's DNA.
So let's start with a number. Just let it sink in. 1.3 billion. That's the estimated number of people around the world living with a disability. It makes them the single largest minority group on the planet. And when our digital world isn't built for everyone, well, that's the staggering number of people we're shutting out.
Okay, so for the longest time, the way we thought about accessibility was something called conformance testing. Basically, it was like a one-and-done check. Does this one specific product pass the test? Check. But the W3C is saying, hang on, that's not enough. We need a huge shift in thinking, away from just testing a product and toward building an organization's capability to get this right consistently every single time. And you know what? That shift is absolutely critical. Which brings us to our first big topic, the massive cost of having this billion-person blind spot. So what really happens when you ignore 1.3 billion people? The costs they're huge. I mean, first off, it's a civil rights issue, right? It's about basic human dignity and equal access. But purely from a business standpoint, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. You're losing customers, you're missing out on incredible talent, and oh yeah, you're also opening yourself up to some pretty serious legal risks, because in a lot of places, this stuff is the law.
So that's the problem. How do we fix it? Well, that's where the W3C's accessibility maturity model comes in. Think of it as a proactive roadmap that any organization, big or small, can follow to find its way forward.
Okay, so what is this thing really? The simplest way to think about it is this. It's a framework that helps an organization measure how good it is at accessibility, and more importantly, how to get better over time. It's less like a simple checklist for one product and way more like a full-on diagnostic tool for your entire company. And at the absolute heart of this whole model is this one powerful idea. Digital accessibility is a journey. It's not some final destination you arrive at one day. Nope. It's a continuous process of learning and improving. And this framework, it's the map that's going to guide you on that journey. So what's the goal of this journey? It's a concept called shift left. Now, if you're in the tech world, you might know this term. It basically means moving accessibility from the end of the line, where you're just reactively fixing bugs right before launch, all the way to the very, very beginning. It's about preventing these problems from ever even happening in the first place. All right, so if accessibility is a journey, how do you actually measure your progress? The model gives us 7 key areas, or pillars, to look at inside an organization. Let's break those down. So here they are, the 7 dimensions that give you a complete picture. You've got the stuff that's about how you build things, right? Like your actual tech development and even how you buy software from others. Then you've got the dimensions focused on your people, their knowledge and skills, your HR processes, the support systems you have in place. And then, wrapping around all of that, you have communications and the big one, culture. The key thing to get here is that these aren't just separate boxes to check. They're all interconnected pillars holding up the whole structure.
Okay, so we have the what to measure. Now let's look at the how. For each of those 7 pillars, the model lays out 4 really clear stages of maturity. This is how a company can figure out exactly where it is on the map and where it needs to go next.
The journey starts at stage 1, inactive. And honestly, it's just what it sounds like. At this stage, the organization is pretty much unaware that accessibility is even a thing. It's just not on the radar. Then you move into stage 2, launch. This is where a little spark of awareness happens. People start talking about it, planning begins, but the efforts are usually all over the place. They're kind of scattered. Maybe one team is doing something, but another isn't. It's a start, but it's not organized. Stage 3, integrate, is where things start to get real. Now there's an actual, formal roadmap. You have defined processes. Accessibility isn't just a side project anymore. It's becoming an organized, consistent part of how work gets done. And finally, the goal is stage 4, optimize. At this level, accessibility is completely baked into the company's culture. It's not a special task, it's just how you do things. And there's a huge focus on constantly measuring, learning, and getting even better. The most important thing to remember about these stages is that they build on each other. You can't just jump to stage 4. You have to build the foundation of each previous stage. What's so great about this is that it gives companies a really clear, actionable path forward. It doesn't just tell you where you are, it shows you exactly what you need to do to get to that next level. And this brings us to the real endgame here. This model isn't just about making a plan or a new process, it's about a fundamental transformation until accessibility is no longer just something you do, but a core part of who you are as an organization. What we're really talking about here is a total mindset shift. Look, a low maturity organization is always reactive. A problem pops up and they scramble to fix it. They see accessibility as this niche thing for a couple of specialists to worry about. But a high maturity organization, they're proactive. They see accessibility as a massive opportunity for the whole company, where every single person has a part to play. So this brings up a really good question, one you should probably take back to your own workplace. When you think about these stages, about these two different mindsets, where is your organization on this journey? Are you guys still at the starting line, or are you well on your way to making inclusion a core part of your identity? Because in the end, the message from the W3C is crystal clear. Accessibility isn't some extra feature you can just add to a list. It's not a nice to have. It is the foundation. It's the bedrock you have to build on to create amazing, fair, and just plain better digital experiences for absolutely everyone.